Chapter 4 Daily Kaizen, continually developing leadership from the bottom up. Many organizations only invest in developing executives who go to expensive leadership development programs and may even get a professional leadership coach. Toyota's leadership approach, despite its reliance on hierarchy, expects leadership from and grants authority to individuals at much lower levels of the hierarchy than is typical in Western companies. There are three benefits to this approach. First, the dispersal of power and the expectation that leadership will come from the base of the hierarchy ensures that there is a constantly growing roster of potential future senior leaders who are gaining experience on a daily basis. Second, it ensures that change is driven by the people closest to the problem, which results in better problem solving, more sustainable solutions, and the possibility of continuous improvement throughout the organization. Third, it ensures that the true north that is being pursued is Toyota's goal, not the goals of an individual leader. A better understanding of Kaizen. Often Kaizen is viewed as many isolated small improvements as in a suggestion system, but at Toyota it is much more than this. Senior managers are expected to lead Kaizen activities that have a broad impact across many functions, leading to major systems change. Their goals are big, but the approach is still PDCA, which means identify the gap between the current state and the desired future, understand the current condition, and then move toward shorter-term targets through a series of rapid experiments. Each one is an individual PDCA loop. The same pattern of problem solving is expected at every level, top, middle, and front line, though the goals become more focused on narrower parts of the organization as you work your way to the front line. Even executives leading major transformations break down the big problem into many small steps, and the next steps are discovered because there is learning from the earlier steps. We sometimes hear the phrase, doing a Kaizen, as if it were a one-off project using Lean or Six Sigma methods, or perhaps organizing a Kaizen event for a week to make a burst of changes. At Toyota, Kaizen is not a set of projects or special events. Rather, it's an integral part of daily leadership. It's how the company operates at the most fundamental level. It's what the majority of leaders of Toyota are doing when they're leading, supporting daily Kaizen. There are two types of Kaizen that require daily activity: maintenance Kaizen and improvement Kaizen. Maintenance Kaizen is the daily work of reacting to the inevitable mistakes, breakdowns, changes, or variations that occur in everyday life in order to meet the standard, which could be productivity or quality or safety. It is what is expected. The goal is to bring the system back to the standard, just as a thermostat signals the furnace to bring the temperature back to the standard setting. When the problem has been contained, work groups are expected to select the most frequent or serious problems and, through root cause analysis, prevent them from recurring. The second type of Kaizen is improvement Kaizen. This is the work of not just maintaining standards, but raising the bar. No matter how many improvements have been made, every process is still full of waste, and ripe with opportunity to improve. Toyota inculcates the idea to all employees that the goal is perfection, and therefore every process can be improved. Continuous improvements made through Kaizen are critical to the evolutionary and sustainable implementation of lean concepts in manufacturing or anywhere else. At Toyota, it is not accepted to quote-unquote implement a lean tool for the sake of using the tool. For example, one does not implement Kanban to pull material. Rather, the starting point is always a specific problem, a gap between the desired and actual state. Daily Kaizen cannot happen without adding new energy to the system. This is the role of the leader in supporting daily Kaizen, making sure that new energy is added, not doing the work directly. Traditional American leadership models focus on an executive as a visionary or change agent who then drives change through an organization by force of will. Toyota leadership is much more about teamwork, relying on connected leadership at all levels who act as coaches for their direct reports. Perhaps what is most extraordinary is Toyota's investment in and trust of group leaders and team leaders at the front line. This investment is most clearly seen in the work group structure, without which daily Kaizen would be severely limited. In fact, it is fair to say that the basic unit of organization at Toyota is a small work group, with a group leader who is often called the frontline supervisor in other organizations, and several team leaders supporting the group leader. The team leaders are production members who take on leadership roles. If the capability of the group leaders is weak, then even the most brilliant idea from the top of the organization is likely to be poorly implemented and weakly sustained. In many ways, Toyota views its group leaders as its most important leaders. They are members of the work group and thus have the greatest amount of direct influence over team members, and they are part of the management team that is most responsible for delivering business results to the company. Team leaders play both production roles and leadership roles. As an example, if there is one group leader for a part of the production line and 20 team members in that group, there will be 4 team leaders, so a ratio of 1 team leader for every 5 members. On a day when everyone has shown up to work, 2 of the team leaders work on production and 2 will be offline, where their first priority is responding to and-on, that's team members pulling a cord when something goes wrong. Team leaders then lead Kaizen to solve these problems. When leaders develop the ability to play a linking pin role effectively, then the organization is positioned to mature from a controlling authoritative system to a consultative management system and ultimately to the highest level of a true participative management system. The long-term challenge of developing true Kaizen capability requires a level of patience and a level of financial investment. The alternative is to give up on developing daily Kaizen, give up on sustaining improvement, and give up on establishing a true lean enterprise. Does the organization have senior leaders who are willing to let group leaders lead and are committed to doing what it takes to inject energy into daily Kaizen? If not, no tool in the world will create sustainable gains from lean approaches. If so, there is no shortage of useful tools and approaches and creative, innovative thinking. We have to make one point absolutely clear. It's not about the tools. Toyota's success is not the result of TPS, Toyota Business Practices, process diagnostics, or any other single tool. No matter what tool is used, the determining factor for success is leadership at every level, but particularly in the groups that do the value-added work. Speed of implementation is fine, but not at the cost of sacrificing the learning development and commitment of the team members who need to maintain and to continue to improve the system. Finally, Peter Drucker said it well. No institution can possibly survive if it needs geniuses or supermen to manage it. It must be organized in such a way as to be able to get along under a leadership composed of average human beings.